Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're at. We are going to do a city project today. So we're going to apply what we learned in 12.1, midpoint and distance formula. But before we do that, always remember that you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. So you are that city, and you can shine for Jesus if you want to. I want you to follow the directions. You're going to complete this by the end of the day tomorrow. You may work with a partner, but both of you are handing in a physical map and your directions all checked off. But before really quickly, let's look at distance and midpoint again. So here's our distance formula. Here's our midpoint formula. As we are looking at that, we're going to use these two values. So let's look at distance really quickly first. Remember that first point is our x1, y1, and the second point is our x1, y2. So we put those into the appropriate spots. Our -3 goes in for our x2. Our x1 is -2, okay? Our 4 comes from our y2. And our -1 comes from our y1. Remember, we need to change that to plus because we have a minus a negative. As we go down, we're going to add these together. 3 plus -2 is -5. 4 plus 1 is 5. We're going to square both of those before we do anything. And then we're going to add them together. So we square both of those and get 25. Remember, anytime we have a negative number squared, it's always positive. So we get the square root of 50, which is approximately 7.07 miles. Okay? Now, what about midpoint? Well, we're going to look at those same numbers, but we're going to plug them into our midpoint now. Still, our x1, y1 is 2, -1. And so on for x2, y2. So our x values that we're going to put in are our, well, that should be a positive 2. 2, -3, okay? And then -1, 4, so I bet I have my math wrong on this, divided by 2. 2 plus -3 is going to give us, not that. It's going to give us -1/2. -0.5. Because this will be -1 over 2, -1/2. Okay, so sorry about that error. So that's how we do midpoint and distance formula. So in this city project, you're going to do 1 through 7. You're going to do the graph. You have a piece of graph paper and then you have a whole bunch of directions, okay? Extra credit is this part. If you walk from B to the restaurant to N without creating a new road, what is the distance traveled? Screenshot that real quick or take a picture of that because you're not going to see it again. Okay, so here's what our directions look like. They're very wordy, but you can do it. You have to actually read. You're responsible for sketching the plans of a new city called. You name your city. Your name does not have to match your partner's if you're working with a partner. On the coordinate plane, that's the graph paper. Plot the buildings in different parts of the city and locations given. The distance between the places is measured in kilometers, so your units should be in your calculations. Then answer the questions below, okay? At B, which is at 4, 6, you're going to put the letter B, and then you're going to put that type of building. You may want to read through this to see what's all involved first. There's a station here. What kind of station might you put in? Police station, fire station, train station, bus station. There's all kinds. Gas station. So what kind of station is going to be at K? And then put the letter K and name your station. If you draw a little picture, you'll get a little bit more credit. If you cut out a little picture, you might get a little bit more credit. So print some pictures tonight and cut them out. Okay? Now, when you're done with this, check it off. When you're done with this, check it off. You need to have words here. Okay? What type of building is this? Is it a museum? Is it a library? Is it a house? Is it a, what is it? Okay? What type of station is this? Connect B and K with a line, whoops, I can't fix it. Connect B and K with a line segment to represent a road. Check it off when you've done that. Now, you're going to do the distance formula. You're going to calculate that. There we go. You're going to calculate that and write your units in kilometers. Okay? You're going to round to the nearest tenth. Just follow the directions on this. All right? The next page talks about a statue. Put the letter S where the statue is located and what kind of statue is it. Then you're going to find the midpoint. Make sure you find the midpoint. Draw the line and label the midpoint and so on. Okay, follow the directions. On this one, you're putting a school, you're putting a store, you're marking off when these are done. As you do that, find your distance here and so on. Connect the school to show a road. Here's your distance formula again and your midpoint formula again. Take a picture of this or use your notes and then complete your project. You have all of class today and you have all of class tomorrow. It needs to be handed in at the end of class tomorrow. So, any questions, ask your neighbors, but you should be good. God bless.